Summer gazpacho is one of my favorite soups to do. Gazpacho and vichyssoise are most popular in our family. And it's almost like a salad that's been pureed, because basically it's just a combination of tons of different vegetables. This is a traditional soup that's made, from the north to the south of Spain. And depending on where you go, they'll tell you should add more of this or more of that. But what we're starting with is a red pepper, and we're just going to cut everything basically in chunks, and then it's going to go into the blender. And you want to take the pith of the red pepper out. Again, it doesn't have to be nothing special, just so that you can actually get it pureed in the blender. And then we're going to use Roma tomatoes. Just roughly chop them up. The tomatoes are kind of the star of this dish, so the better the tomato, the better the soup is going to be. So we have 10 Roma tomatoes here. We have 1 English cucumber, 1 red pepper, and 1 small red onion, and 2 cloves of garlic. So the English cucumber, you want to make sure that you peel it beforehand, because even with the English cucumber, the skin is a little bit bitter, and it's going to change the color of the gazpacho. You don't need to seed it. Cutting it again, just as we have with the tomatoes and the peppers, in large chunks. And we'll just chop our garlic up a little bit, roughly. Again, it's all going into the blender, so it just needs to be roughly chopped. And then some red onion. So we're just peeling back the outside skin. And again, we're just going to cut this in large chunks. I'm going to put the blender to work here today. Okay. And that's it for our vegetables. So we're going to start the blending process. So what you want to do is mix a little bit of each vegetable up here. A little bit of onion, a little bit of tomato, a little bit of pepper. And you don't want to fill your blender up too much, sort of 3/4 of the way. So now we're going to strain, because we've got all of the skins of the peppers and the tomatoes in here, and so we're just going to strain it off so we get a much smoother finished soup. So medium fine sieve, and then you've got all the seeds as well from the tomatoes. So once we've finished sieving all the vegetables through, we're just basically going to season the gazpacho. So we're adding a little bit of pepper, sea salt, and some vinegar. This is going to help bring the flavors out and just give it a little snap. And you're going to chill this, so you want to make sure that you taste it again after you've taken it out of the fridge, because chilling anything is actually going to sort of deaden the flavors, and so you often will have to re-season it once you take it out of the fridge. Delicious. And just a touch of good olive oil. Then we're going to refrigerate this and make our focaccia croutons. So we're mixing the Italians and the Spaniards up here. I don't know if they'd agree with this, but we're using focaccia for croutons because they're so perfect for a dish like this. And so you just want to take a square focaccia and cut it in small cubes. And then we're going to just toast it on top of the stove. Put your heat on medium-high and just hover around and toss it just so that they're lightly golden. Additionally, in Spain, you often will get garnishes. If you were to order a gazpacho at the table in a restaurant, they would bring you little garnishes of all the ingredients that are actually in the dish. Finely chopped cucumber, some red pepper, some tomato, and then drizzle the whole thing with a little bit of olive oil. So our croutons are getting nice and toasty. I think they're all ready here. So we're just going to add a little bit of olive oil just to add an extra dose of flavor to them. And just give them a nice toss around. And we're using soup plate because I just think it really shows the soup off nicely if you use a soup plate as opposed to a bowl, especially when you've got some great garnishes. Sprinkle a few chives on top, not too many, and a few of these lovely toasted croutons, and another tiny drizzle of the olive oil. In Spain you get amazing olive oil made from Arbequina olives. And there we have fantastic light summer gazpacho.